And welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pollock, your host for this segment. And with me today, I have Heather Freeman from the UNR Extension Office. And I'm looking at her little computer over there. It's not a black hole, it's a black square. You know, it's my science anyway. But anyway, it's my joke for the day. So we're going to talk about some of the things that you have to offer for all the people here, environmental-wise, for the plants, for everything that grows here and doesn't die. So what do you have for the folks?
So this is the time of year when people are getting excited about gardening, and I just wanted to come on and share that we have horticulture classes and events going on this spring. Most of them are free. Starting next week, Tuesday and Thursdays, through the month of April 2024, we will have the Grow Your Own Nevada classes, and those are sent to us via our extension partners up in Reno. The first one is on edible landscaping. It's to learn how to add edible plants safely into your home landscape, and which plants not only add color and texture, but can also add flavor to your dishes. So
Okay.
something like, you might think it's an ornamental cabbage, but you really can't eat it. And did you know that cauliflower comes in colors like purple and orange? It's really great.
My wife is always snipping the rosemary off
Yep.
for meals.
Yep, it looks great in the landscape, and it's good to add flavor to your dish.
Just snip it off towards the high side, so on the low side, some animals may have gotten to it
I guess.
and done their thing.
Yep.
So,
So the next Grow Your Own class on that Thursday, April 4th, those are from 6 to 8 p.m. and they're on Zoom. So you don't have to drive after dark. You don't have to come over to the office. You can watch from your home or from wherever you are. So if you decide to take the camper down to visit the wildflowers, as long as you've got an internet signal, you can still watch your gardening class. So the one on Thursday, April 4th is on getting started with your vegetable garden. How to increase success by following practices to improve your chance of a great harvest. You'll learn which seasons are better for which vegetables. That makes a big difference. Don't try to grow lettuce in July here. Don't try to grow tomatoes in November. And then also selecting the varieties that go with our region. So there is actually a type of sweet corn that will do in the Southwest desert. It's called Mirai, M-I-R-A-I. The third Grow Your Own class is on backyard cover crops. A cover crop is something that will keep the soil from blowing away and add nutrients to your garden. So it might not be something that you intend on eating. It might be something that you just plant and then till it in as like a living mulch fertilizer before you plant your next crop. Helps prevent soil erosion, helps it from blowing away in the lovely winds that we've been having. That one's going to be on Tuesday, April 9th. Then on Thursday, April 11th, the Grow Your Own class is the most destructive garden pests. And that picture is a picture of squash bugs. I don't know any way to beat squash bugs except to skip planting squash for a couple of years and hope that they don't find the ones that you do plant on the third or fourth year. But it helps you, this class will help you learn to identify and control some of the most common and the most destructive pests. So,
you know what, I saw on YouTube last night again that I'm afraid for bananas, because the only way they propagate themselves, they're cloned, and there's a disease that's going around the world and it's hitting them.
yeah.
And they were showing all the things that the people have to do, Guatemala, wherever it is. They have to just about sterilize themselves when they're working on the plants so that it doesn't spread.
Yep.
But we may be without bananas one of these days. You know,
Hopefully they'll find
cure.
a variety that will withstand whatever pests they're having to.
Well, this is something new that
battle.
I never knew. They're,
Interesting.
they live by being cloned.
Yes, yep. There are a lot of plants that are cloned in a greenhouse setting.
Yes.
Yep.
I learned something.
Yeah. So the next one is one that everybody is battling right now in Pahrump. It's on garden weed control. And I brought my favorite tool for weeding. It's got the extra large grip on it, the little V handle, and this is one of the best weapons against weeds that you can get down in there and get that taproot. 3 of the most common ones that we've got going right now are tumbleweeds, of course.
Yeah.
The little baby ones are sprouting up all over in everyone's gravel. The wild mustard, that's the tall ones with kind of the saw-edged leaf. It almost looks like an arugula leaf with a little yellow flower.
Foxtails? No.
Yeah, foxtail grass is another one, but people pretty much know to pull that.
Yeah.
And then there's one that almost looks like a beautiful wildflower, but it's not. It's called a red-stemmed fillory, or sometimes another common name for it is a storksbill, and that's based on the sharp seed pod. Not the same as a goat head, but it makes a very sharp. Once those seed pods dry out, they just poke you. So
goat heads, they're
goat
miserable
heads, puncture
for bicycles.
vine. Yeah. Anyway, so that class is going to be on Tuesday, April 16th. Then, not in the Grow Your Own series, but following in the same line, our friends in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Extension, they call their program Guts MG, Gardening Under the Stars with MGs. So that's where the GUTS comes in. And Master Gardener Lori Evans is going to be talking about unconventional pest management. So integrated pest management, she's tried out some things, what works, what hasn't worked in her garden, and she's a really great teacher. So if you've heard some things that, does that really work? I think that's going to be the basis of her class, as she's tested out to see if it works or not. So, then we also have gardening in small spaces. That's on Thursday, April 18th. If you have a tiny house, an apartment, duplex, even if you're living on the road in a Sprinter van, you can still have a garden, just in a container, and set it out wherever you are and make sure that it gets adequate light and water, and tend it just like you would if you had an in-ground garden. It's just a small container garden. So, and that one's going to be taught by the Master Gardener coordinator from up in Washoe County, Rachel McClure. So she's an awesome teacher. Then the next one's another popular topic. On Tuesday, April 23rd, is beekeeping for you. Tips for a beginning beekeeper. We've had the privilege of hosting Introduction to Beekeeping and Beekeeping 102 several times at our Pahrump office by the master beekeeper from the Research Orchard in Las Vegas, John Zay. But this one's going to be taught by one of our northern partners, and it'll kind of be intro to beekeeping light. I don't think she'll go quite as in-depth as John does, but it'll help you decide whether or not you really want to be a beekeeper. Having a hive is a really big commitment, and they'd rather have you
do it right
than attempt it and have it go wrong.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that can go wrong and can impact the health of other beehives in the area if you're not taking care of your hive.
Ooh,
so,
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you can learn about that. Then on Thursday, April 25th, the class will be about attracting beneficial insects to your garden. Did you know that only 1% of insects are actually harmful? In fact, insects play an important role in creating a healthy garden. We know that. Bees pollinate our fruit, but there are a host of other pollinators that are not honeybees. And we have to really be careful about making sure that we don't accidentally harm all our little beneficial insect friends that are doing a good job in the garden. Just because it's a bug doesn't mean it's bad. So you can learn more about that on
I
25th.
bought a whole bunch of ladybugs some years ago from the nursery in town.
Yes.
I put them on my plants, and then a week later they're all gone. Evidently, they weren't happy where they're living.
It's possible you didn't have aphids, which is what their food is. And that's a good thing if you don't have aphids.
Oh,
So
I shouldn't have got them then.
well,
Hopefully they're alive and well someplace.
they found some aphids to eat elsewhere.
Yes.
Then on May 1st, again from our friends in Las Vegas, what you need to know to save seeds. So that's another skill that you need to know what part of the plant the seed sets in.
Okay.
And you have to be willing sometimes to sacrifice the best fruit and let it get overripe in order to save the seed out of the middle.
Oh, okay.
So
Understood now.
you wouldn't want to save the seed from one of the worst fruits in your garden. You'd want to save the seed from one of the best fruits.
Yes.
So, and then also there's a few plants that you want to protect from cross-pollination. Peppers are very easily cross-pollinated from, say, a jalapeno to what you might have thought was going to be a nice sweet bell pepper.
Oh.
But if it got cross-pollinated with jalapeno, you will find out when you chop it up for your salad, it's not a sweet bell pepper anymore. It's hot and jalapeno. So there is a skill to knowing how to save seeds. The ones from Las Vegas are organized by our coworker. Her name is Elaine Fagan. And here is her contact information, her email, and her phone number. She'd probably prefer you email her. If you'd like to get on her mailing list, she'll send out when she has arranged more Gardening Under the Stars classes. She adds to those throughout the year as more master gardeners create classes, or as we get an ask. Someone says, hey, can you teach a class on? And then we'll get to it and create a PowerPoint and teach a class.
And that's it for today. Do you have more? Because we can do another segment. And we'll see you right back.